Hello, hello. I am about to go into my soul portion of my transformation process. And I've recorded a lot about, I guess, the physical and the body aspect, but I come every Thursday from about 11 o'clock until at least 12, and I sit down with a counselor to pretty much just kind of go over to see, I've had a rough year, and to kind of dig down. Part of the transformation is, of course, mind, soul, body, and spirit. And so this is the soul and the spirit portion of um of my transformation. Delving into, we usually go on in life, and we go to church and we do these things, we just move forward and things, but we don't really get to the root of unresolved issues and things that are in our life. And so um, I believe that I deal with a lot of wounds and issues from my past, and which kind of, I think, formed a lot of my personality, and living my life mostly reactive and rather than proactive. And so I'm going in, and so we're going to deal with last week we were just dealing with I guess we went over like things like the iniquities, things that I see that may stem from um, the generations, generational curses or generational iniquities. And I had a pretty rough week, basically dealing with the death of my mom, but even unresolved issues that were never dealt with. Even when my mom was living, nothing bad. I had a great family, but like, like every other family, we had our issues and we had our problems and things like that. And so I'm getting ready to go in today. And again, I don't even know how many. I actually been doing this type of counseling, I think, since before my mom's death, somewhat. And then when I started the documentary, um, wanting to go in for deliverance counseling to see if I needed any form of I guess emotional deliverance. But anyway, I'm about to go in. Okay, so it's the evening following my Thursday's counseling session. I had anticipated maybe doing some recording and kind of talking, with my counselor to kind of go over um I guess, where I am, where I came from, and some of the issues that we were, confronting, where it relates to, you know, me, my life, and the healing process. And we decided that when we do record, it needs to just be more or less about a conversation or something, but not any specifics pertaining, not like the actual session. And so I just wanted to touch base and kind of, some of the things that we did today. We made a list um, of dealing, maybe with some soul ties or any open doors um, that may trigger setbacks in my walk with Christ. And so I had to, not just with Christ, but um, just different areas of my life where there may be hindrances or repetitive cycles or patterns that are evident in my life. And so, I made a list of soul ties of things that were just from anything, from my parents, from my childhood, from relationships, just things like that. And then anything that may have been, like, I had to write down a name, and then whatever it was that I felt any type of control or manipulation or anything like that. And so I made that list. And so that's what I have to concentrate on, anything that might be added to that list that the Holy Spirit may bring, to my remembrance, and to allow God to bring those things, to my remembrance. And I have to make a conscious effort, because sometimes there are things that's in your heart that if the Lord doesn't reveal it, you don't even know that it's there. And so when He bring those things up to release it, to forgive them. Um, and it just kind of helped me identify some things that may be specifically going on in my heart, in my life. And so then we'll probably do, um, maybe record something later. Not sure exactly how we would do that because that's a little bit more, you know, difficult, than me just recording when I'm at the gym or something like that, or just having random conversations with people. So we did that, and just typically, um, ask how I'm doing, how I'm feeling, especially towards the holiday with my mother. You know, not being here. Yesterday was a really, really rough day for me. I kind of cut up a little bit at the gym because I was in my emotions. This is the first Christmas without my mom, and I hadn't really dealt with it. Not really dealt with her death, and it's like it's becoming so real now because that's one part of my life that was just always there that's no longer there anymore. And just how I'm doing emotionally, because I don't have that emotional support, system, not at home, anyway. My husband and I, we're not walking in agreement with the faith and things like that. I really don't know what's going on with that, but we're not on one accord with that. And so with everything else, that's just, puts a strain on our marriage. So he's not where I can really lean on, and really put confidence there. So I'm really having to put all my confidence in God. And dealing with my mom's death, it's not something that feels good. And so actually, today I made a phone call to my dad to see if it was anything that he needed. And I have a couple things that I need to take to him, tomorrow. And I haven't been even going there because to my home, because it's no longer home. It's something that's totally different for us now because my mom's not there. She's not there. And so I've never had a day in my life that where my mother wasn't home. So I was always blessed to have mom and dad at home, even though it wasn't perfect. I don't know, we never moved. They were always there. And so, even with her being sick, it's like we never could really wrap our head around the fact that, oh, she's not going to bounce back or she's not going to come back. So, you know, it's just like somebody just disappeared in thin air. And even though we knew she was sick, everything happened so fast. And so, me having to go back there, especially after the situation where I ended up having to leave. And my dad, I believe, dealing with dementia and is gone undiagnosed. He's in his 80s and very angry with me. And he came to see me. He doesn't even really remember anything. So he's not driving now. And just having, not just to face, the reality of my mom, but just having to face the reality that the circle of life is changing. Um, Changing of the guards and having to grow up. I've been having a lot of like dreams and visions of my childhood, and so the last week or so has been very, very difficult. Dreams of being a child, and in the dreams, I mean, it's just so vivid. In the visions, like I can smell the grass being cut. I can smell when it was raining on a dirt road, and when in order to keep the dust down, instead of gravel, they would put oil down on the roads. And I can remember the fresh smell of the rain and hearing the tractor in the field and just different sounds of my home. When my mom was up in the morning with the radio on and her shuffling pots and pans and the washing machine going and the sound of the back door. And I'm like, I mean, very, very vivid dreams, which have, almost made it difficult because it's like, I know it's difficult, but I think it's necessary. The sound of the telephone ring and just different like clips, like a slideshow of just different things from being a very, very young, like a baby. I can remember those things. And just knowing now that that's not there. And I know people been dealing with things like this for generations, but it's new to me. And so we just, talked about those things today and me having to process the pain and, you know, um, just to be heard, and heard from someone who has the heart of God, and listening, and unjudgmental, unjudgmental, or not trying to fix it, but listening to you, and really, really caring. You can process things and asking the right questions that you may not even think of. And so, but anyway, that just sums it up for right now. Um, so I guess I'll be doing more about the spirit and the soul portion. So anyway, that's it for today. Thank you for, visiting my channel. Hit the subscribe button down below, and thank you for following. Hit like and subscribe. And so I guess I have more of this soul and spirit part coming up. Thanks.